So siapa yang belum subscribe Galeri Kereta, boleh klik button kat bawah subscribe, dan kita jumpa lagi di next episode untuk kita apa lagi proses untuk KA30 ni. Okay, see you, bye bye. Assalamualaikum.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the final day of qualifying for the Rotax Sim Racing Asia Challenge. I'm your host for this evening, Max Palmer, on the camera controls as well. And we also have Budi in the virtual studio. Hi, Budi.
Hi, Max. So today is going to be the final qualifying for this Rotax Sim Racing Challenge Asia. So how it goes, Max, for the past 2 days? I think this is the third day of the qualifying, isn't it?
Yes, indeed it is. And for the last 3 days, the fastest sim racers in Asia have been battling it out in order to get a spot in the top 16 and move on to the online segment of the tournament. So we have a qualifiers there with the online league and also the hashtag Rotax Racer challenge also as well. So So for those of you who aren't racing in the online league, tell us why you are hashtag Rotax Racer by making a post on Facebook and or Instagram, and you can win a seat at the MORAC UTAMA finals. So you'll be able to race with the online league winners. The top 10 from the online league will move to the MORAC UTAMA grand finals, along with the Rotax Racer top 10 social media competition as well. So it'll be social media versus sim
races.
Sim races. There we go. And of course, the winner of the MORAC UTAMA grand finals will get a paid trip to the Rotax Max Challenge Asia Festival at the Langkawi International Speedway there. Fantastic event. 9th to the 11th of December. Do book those tickets if you haven't yet. This is going to be the greatest kart race in Asia, and that is no joke. World famous this race is amongst the Rotax Max community and amongst the kart racing community in general. Beautiful racetrack, beautiful scenery right by the beach. It is perhaps the best motorsports event that's coming on from now till the end of the year. So do check that event out. All the details on Amprex's social medias and on their website.
Okay, for those who doesn't know, MORAC Adventure Park Langkawi, which is the one that they are doing the Rotax Max Challenge Asia Festival, is actually the one and only, I think that it is the one and only official homologated how to say that, man?
It's an Italian word. Yes.
Go-kart circuit in Malaysia. It is 1.3 kilometers long and with 21 turns. That was actually quite technical, isn't it?
Yes, it is one of the most technical homologated racetracks in the world when it comes to kart racing. And I'm not joking when I say it is one of the crown jewels of karting in Asia. This race at Langkawi. Absolutely fantastic venue. Absolutely fantastic racing. We've got drivers from all around the world coming over from the 9th to the 11th of December. So if you still want to watch that one more motorsports event there, this event has been going for quite some time as well. So absolutely brilliant to come down there. I've been down there a couple of times. I've driven the rental cars down there. It's amazing, I tell you.
Oh, I feel jealous for that, Max. So, for those who doesn't know, this is actually the Rotax Sim Racing Challenge Asia, where we are looking for the top 16 to be playing league for 3 races. And then after that, the top 10 will be fighting with the social media campaign winner, which is the one that we are talking about, the Rotax Racer, hashtag Rotax Racer Challenge. And they will be fighting for the prize of going to Langkawi. And the final, the Rotax Max Challenge Asia Festival, which is in Langkawi. This is a 3 days, and I think it's a 3 days event. In Langkawi, so you got a paid trip to that event. That was a good prize pool, Max. And the experience that we have from sim racing to the real, actually really exciting.
Absolutely, we've got a few drivers out on track there. The camera is now trained on Hasbi Hamidun, aka our very own Master Seth, out there tearing it up. He's the second fastest so far this evening with a 44.299. Now the world record sits at a 43 right now, and it's actually held by, I believe it's Kale. Sorry, Muazzam, sorry. I do apologize. It's actually held right now by Gaskun, who I believe also holds the world record for this kart on this track for 125 singles right now. So we'll have a look and see if we can find Hamidun again. But right now the fastest man out on track is in fact Master Seth, followed very closely behind by our friend from Singapore there, Jay Wong, is in third position, third fastest this evening. He's the second fastest out on track right now, 44.443 seconds there from Jay Wong. We also have Akmal Perpezioni, who is out there. Akmal doing very well for himself to get himself up into the 44.8 bracket. Again, very, very fast drivers we're seeing out here. We perhaps will see faster drivers out on track later on in this stream. And for those of you who are interested and have the Automobilista 2 game, you still have a chance to register and qualify. Check out under Adrenaline Impact at Vertex for all of the details to register for the event. You still have just about enough time. I believe that qualifying closes at 11, right?
Yeah, the qualifying will close at 11, Max. And wow, I was thinking that everybody gonna do 45. Now, like, everybody is doing 44. I was like, ooh, they are getting faster and faster in this track. For those who doesn't know, Khalid was actually a new driver with SEAT, and he's doing quite well, 45.230. His time before was actually 47, I think. So he is actually really, really doing good. Max, how about the general timing that you think about, the average timing for this track?
So 44 is going to be a very competitive time to drive around this track in, say, online races and in league races in general. 44 is just about the race pace that the world sort of top 10 will do. The fastest lap times tend to be the 43 brackets, and we saw that during the course of the Invitational that we had last week. If you remember, that was quite a good race there as well. And so, like you were saying, Muazzam Zairi is the fastest man actually in the world when it comes to 125 single speed lap times here at Londrina in Brazil. That is Gascon to you and me, and he has the AMS2 record of 43.3, I believe. Or it was the last time we checked.
43.3.
Yes. So these guys are going very, very quickly. They're only a second off the pace right now. And we understand that Gasco did that in perfect conditions. We have a little bit of track degradation. We have damage on the karts as well. So if you do spin off, you're going to get a little bit of dirt build up on the tires there, and you're also going to get a little bit of damage to the chassis. And these karts tend to be quite sensitive when it comes to that sort of stuff. So we'll see if we can find another driver out there. We do actually have our team, how would you call it, team racing driver, as well as our driver coach to some of the guest drivers that came up to the studio for the Invitational. He's known here as Chiwa, and which I believe is like a pet name for a pet dog or cat in Japanese. But it's Alip Jantan who's out there on track right now, and he is racing with a time of 0 minutes 44.9. It's 44.9 right now, and he's up in 5th position right at this moment. In the meantime, in the meantime there, we do actually have another very I would say very well-known sim racer who's actually in Discord right now. Let's see if we can get him. Afa, aka Afik Fadlan, he's in the pits right now setting the car up. I wonder if you can hear us, Afa?
I think Afa is on mute.
Yeah, I think he is muted in the Discord server right now. By the way, for all of you guys who want to come into the Discord server and keep us company throughout the course of this evening, do head on over to the Adrenaline Impact X Vertex Discord server. I think he's probably AFK right now, but as soon as we get a hold of him, we will be chatting with our very own one and only Afik Fadlan. Now, this is a guy who actually does 24-hour and 12-hour races on iRacing, and usually at a very high level, at a very high split. Probably not the fastest in terms of pure one-lap pace, but throughout the course of the race, especially with these karts, where you really have to look after the tires through the course of the race, a lot of overheating was happening during that Invitational. And I think we're going to see that throughout the course of the race. Someone like Afiq might just be a bit of a dark horse in this tournament.
Yeah, we know that the fact that setting up your gears, your tires, and your kart was actually a really crucial in this kind of situation, Max. And for those who, this is just an information for you guys. When we talk about sim racing, we are talking about how the game itself try to simulate the real life experience of how the cuttings work and how these all those mechanical stuff works. So setting up the cut was actually really bring the maximum potential of the cut itself, especially for if you are going for things like technical tracks like this. And most of go-kart track was actually quite technical and fast-paced.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many changes of direction, especially somewhere like Londrina here in Brazil. We're also going to be going through a few more tracks. Once the guys have qualified, we're going to take the top 16 and head off to Ortona in Italy. A fantastic karting track there. I believe it was actually host to the World Championships recently. We saw a little bit of that on YouTube while we were back in the studio there and practicing. It's absolutely fantastic to see how that goes there. Ortona in Italy, fantastic venue for karting. Very high speed, that first sector. You can see that on the map. That's going to be round 1. In round 2, we're going to Interlagos. Not a lot of people know this, but Interlagos Formula 1 circuit has its own CIK grade karting track. Again, very famous. A lot of top karting drivers and a lot of top racing drivers from Brazil went through racing at Interlagos kart circuit here in Brazil. Absolute classic. A lot of low speed, medium speed, and high speed corners. A good mix. But I think we saved the best for last year. Buskerud in Norway is our third and final round of the online portion of the race, and it's an incredible track with so much elevation changes. It really does deserve its reputation as the mini Nordschleife.
Exactly, Max. So all this is actually a real kart track that has been used throughout the whole seasons in the karting scenes, isn't it, Max?
Yeah, absolutely. Real life racetracks there, all of them also CIK grade, and so is the track that we're going to have, the Rotax Max International Asia Festival. Rotax Max Challenge Asia Festival, sorry. And that's going to be at Langkawi. And like I said, Langkawi circuit, it's a classic. It's been around for quite some time now. Run, of course, by the Amprex Circuit Senior and Berhad, who have done a fantastic job in revamping the place. They're absolutely brilliant to see that track in good hands right now. And of course, there's so much to do when you go down there as well. So even outside of the Rotax Max Challenge Asia Festival, you have, of course, it's so close to the beach there. It's right next to the Zon, right next to the airport. And yeah, what else could you say about it? Brilliant track. Fantastic rental carts as well on offer there. But of course, from the 9th to the 11th, nobody's driving rental cars. They're driving the full fat Rotax Max Challenge carts. And it's going to be so fun.
So right now we have here Jay Wong, which is a driver from Singapore. It's been a while since we talk about Jay Wong, and we know he's one of the fastest racer when it comes to the series that we have been done before. And right now, Jay Wong, his time was actually 44.443 seconds. I think he just joined in the qualifying for today, because at first I think he do 47. 1 hour he actually managed to shave his time 3 seconds right now. I can't see how many laps he has done, but well, 44 seconds was actually pretty competitive, like Max said.
Yeah, but I mean, what else could we say about Jay Wong? He's such a adaptable driver now. Of course, he's a specialist in AC and in Assetto Corsa races, and that's where we first saw him in our races, in our championships. And let's see if we can go through it again. To apologize. There we go. When Umar's not here, our director, he's actually trying to correct us via remote. So I do apologize. Any mistakes are mine. But yeah, Jay Wong is a fantastic driver. He is, of course, he comes from the world of Assetto Corsa. But we've seen him now branch out throughout the course of this year. He's gone into iRacing. And, oh, look at that. He's just done a 44.202. Fantastic stuff there from Jay Wong. And brilliant action there. He's just spun the kart there. Perhaps just having enough there. 44.202. That is getting on to it. That's really quick.
I think he might hit 43 point, high 43 or something, because the fact that he's driving, he keep on going faster and faster. He tried to adapt to the track. He tried to adapt to the physics of the kart. Physics of the kart and physics of the car itself is pretty big different. It's not like you're just switching between front wheel drive to rear wheel drive. It is big different when you try to drive this kind of car. And I've been driving this. I've been trying to drive this car, and it's not easy. It's easy if you see it right now, but trust me, when you on the wheel, it's harder than you think it is.
Yeah, that's coming from someone who, as you can see there, that's just a little bit of a shortcut. I'm not sure that's going to work out for Akbar. A couple of the drivers have actually tried that shortcut, not so much to cut out their lap times, but to actually try and get a faster start for the next lap. But I think it actually detects it for both laps there, so not too sure. But anyways, Akbar, again, another last-minute entrant into the qualifying session here. And going quite well for himself, 44.3. We're very close there. The top the top four, just within a tenth of each other. And I think this is going to be a very competitive race series there. And it's nice to see Akmal out there pushing the car to its limits. But yeah, just looking at that lap time from Jay Wong, he's mastered the Assetto Corsa. He's gone into iRacing, which is a very difficult scene to get into. I think you and I both know. We've had quite a few hours in iRacing. It's not easy to get in at the start and work your way up the ladder, but he's managed to do it quite well, in fact. And I think him moving to AMS2 is just another challenge that he's trying to overcome right now, and it's absolutely brilliant to see that he's definitely getting on top of it.
So if we think about it, Max, 16 racer, and the gap between them, I would say it less than 1 second. It's gonna be a really competitive fight when we watch the race in the upcoming week.
Absolutely. The thing about kart racing is that it's so fast paced. It's so unbelievable. Watching the action out there on track, it's a totally different style of racing as well. It's very much wheel to wheel, bumper to bumper action all the way throughout the race there. And to have all of the drivers coming into the series and being this quick, this close to the top of the leaderboard there, it's going to be absolutely incredible to see how they get on with it. I just can't wait for the first round there. Ortona in Italy is going to be amazing.
Exactly, Max. So this is this is just a trivia for you guys. Rotax was actually the name of the manufacturer of the engine itself that the kart will be using when they are fighting for the Rotax Max Challenge Asia Festival. So they will be using the same type of engine. I think different kind of class will have different kind of a BOP or something like that. But they will be fighting for 5 classes. They have micro, and then they have a mini. They have what else? I can't remember. But they have 5 classes. Yeah, I think it's senior, junior, and DD2. Is it? Yeah, DD2.
DD2, the latest generation in Rotax. I see engines there. For those of you who don't know, Rotax is from Austria and part of the Bombardier group. And one of the perhaps the best and most well-known two-stroke engine manufacturers in the world. They develop things like the power valve and bridge porting, things like that on two-stroke engine. They are really, you could say they are real pioneers in that space. I believe those engines were also used in Can-Am two-stroke motocross bikes back in the 70s as well. For all of you motocross nuts out there, motocross fans, they were involved in that scene as well. But yeah, Rotax has been around. They built engines for just about everything. You see their engines in side-by-sides, in motorcycles, in all sorts of other places as well. So brilliant to see them out there on track. As we see there has been, I'll be doing Master Seth taking another cheeky run up to the start-finish line. Again there. I think the trick is you have to slow down just enough so you don't trigger the next lap penalty. But yeah, it's they are a super well-known karting manufacturer, and with Rotax Max, what they've pioneered in kart racing is the liquid-cooled two-stroke. So they were one of the first guys to run liquid cooling on two-stroke engines, and that really made a big difference in karting.
So when Mac talk about power valve system, so we have VTEC kick in, but in these categories we have Rotax kick in. Okay,
Yeah,
it's different. It's two different things, but the same system.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
It is the same. It's the same effect there. We had Arif in the kart that's actually driven the real life race karts and has tried out these karts in sim. And of course, we had Amir Harris as well, who gave it a shot, and he did absolutely fantastic stuff. So we're going to have a look there at the overall right now. The overall right now on day one, the fastest time of the day is Lee Ka-chun with a 43.025. So he actually went quicker than world record pace. There, Muazzam Zairi was second with a 43.2. So there's already a couple of 43s in the bag right now. Although, from my understanding, there is another new world record holder as well. Akbar Pezione, that's the Akbar you see there. He is currently, well, he was out on track, but he's now in the pits. He actually managed to do a 44.2 yesterday, going fastest yesterday, although not fastest overall. Hishmuddin Ahmad was second with a 44.3, and Khalid with a 45.5 there. That was yesterday's results. So the fastest drivers are Lee Ka-chun, Muazzam Zairi, and I think Fadlan was in fact third so far in the leaderboards. So very, very quick performance from those guys. And I think apart from Lee Ka-chun, all of the other drivers are out there on track. So the fastest guys out there are actually out on track right now, apart from our provisional pole position driver.
Exactly, Max. And I've seen the name Aikai Susi there. So Kamal Ali, he also trying to do his best just to make sure that he qualified to join the top 16 of this online league. So, he haven't got out of the pit yet, I think. Maybe he's setting up his car or something. Because there's no
he's
time.
out on track.
But, yeah.
There we go. So he is out on track. And again, for any of you guys who have already registered but have not qualified yet, you do have 1 hour and 30 minutes, and registrations are still open. Registrations will only close when this session is over. So if you guys have AMS2 and fancy yourself as being a very quick virtual karter, why don't you head on down to Adrenaline Impact and Vertex Esports for your chance to register and compete. But you will have to do it fairly quickly and jump into server, because once this server is done, we will not be taking any more competitors in. So this is the last chance for these guys. 1 hour and 1.5 hours remaining there. You can see the Akai Susi, very quick first lap. These karts take about a lap and a half to get the temperature up. So 45 right out of the pits there. It's not too bad.
Mm-hmm. He is doing quite well. I bet he has some issue adapting to the kart when we are trying at the Invitational last week, but now I think he's getting better and better. So Hazmi Hamidun and Afiq Fadlan is actually using VR, isn't it, Max? They are using VR trying to race the card. I am a VR user, and I will say this: it's not easy using VR when you are playing card. It's big different.
So yeah, there you go. It is really tricky actually. A lot of guys think if they're quick on a car, they would be quick in a kart. But there are some techniques that you have to really consider, like making sure you're on the throttle to steer the thing for starters. There's no differential and there's no suspension on a kart, so you do need commitment in order to just make it go around the corners. A fun kart, of course, being a little bit looser, a little bit easier to drive, tends to be a lot more forgiving in that sense. It will go around the corner if you give it a little bit of throttle. But with these karts, it's all or nothing. You have to push quite hard there. You can see there Hisham Ahmad just having a bit of a spin, well, a little bit of half spin there, and having to give a little bit of room there, a bit messy around these karting tracks. That's another thing you're going to see. If you see one kart go off the track, quite often you see 2 or 3 follow them, because everyone's on the limit. You have to be in order to get a quick lap time with these karts, and it's great fun to see these guys going around.
Yeah, Max. Now with Hisham Ahmad, I think he need to get back to the pit and then try to fix back his kart. Like Max said earlier, these qualifying session, they have turned the damage on. So when you have the damage on, you will have issue with your tires, your brakes, and your chassis itself. So it's gonna affect every single second that you made on this track. It's not like I can run and bump to anybody and no damage taken. It is really crucial to make sure that you have a perfect kart to drive. And like Max said earlier, this kart is really sensitive. It's sensitive as you do a quick turn and you spun, like suddenly you can't do anything, you can't counter steer. That's how hard this kart is.
Yeah, you need to have lightning quick reflexes with these karts. And someone who does have lightning quick reflexes is Akai Suisse. Kamal Ali's got 3rd fastest overall and fastest today. Fastest time of the day, they're 44.143. I've got to drop the 1 minute start, haven't I? They're going so fast around this karting track right now. They're below 1 minute, 44.1 seconds for Akai Suisse there. He's in first position. Kamal Ali with the fastest time of the day. Provisional pole is still Li Kachun, but this will move him up into 3rd position, or it would have if it wasn't for Jay Wong, who's gone 43.963. What a performance there. But look at that. Akai Suisse has gone faster again, 143.949. They are within hundreds of a second of each other there. Goodness gracious me, that was incredible stuff. That Jay Wong's gone into the pits. He's going to have to tweak that kart to go a little bit quicker. But Akai Suisse, 43.949. That is quick, and I believe that actually might be putting him at least in challenge with 2nd place.
Oh, that was really good. Both driver adapt to the kart itself, and you can see the improvement between the few laps that they made earlier. Like I said, I talked about Jay Wong earlier about how he tried to adapt to the games and how he tried to adapt to the kart physics itself. And you can see what I say earlier, that Jay Wong will make it up to 43, and he's done it. High 43, and he might not stop here. He still have more than 1 hour to complete. It's actually 1 hour and 29 minutes, and he still have 1 hour and 29 minutes to lap time for this qualifying session. Okay, for those who just joining us, don't forget to don't forget to join us at the join our social media campaign with the hashtag Rotax Racer. Post with the most like will get a seat to race with those sim racer in one UTAMA. So don't miss the chance, guys. Come on.
Absolutely. So post and win. Tell us why you're a Rotax Racer on Facebook or Instagram, and the best posts will go on to the One UTAMA Finals on the 4th of December 2022. This is in fact a real life kart race. So we're taking these guys from the sim into real life karts at MORAC One UTAMA for the Rotax Sim Racing Challenge Asia Grand Finals, and you have a chance to win. And there's also there is also 5 copies of the game Automobilista 2 up for grabs as well. So the first 5 entries will win a copy of Automobilista 2, the game that we are running in this championship. Right now we can see that Jay Wong has come out of the pits there. He's fettled the karts, maybe tuned the jettings just a little bit, sorted out the suspension, dropped a tooth on the drive gears there, and he's going to try and see if he can get a faster lap time. He's only 0.014 of a second behind Akai Suise. He is 1.4 hundredths of a second. That is very close to nanosecond territory there, or microsecond territory, I do apologize.
Yes, Max. So right now, Jay Wong, he's still trying to improve his time, and behind him with actually Akmal Perfezion.
Yeah, we'll go with Perfezion.
Perfezion, you know?
Or is it Perfezione?
Yeah. Max was saying that in Wednesday, Akmal was doing 44 instead of 44.1. I think he has a chance to improve his lap time here. Maybe with Jay Wong and Akai Suse, he feels a bit intimidated, or feels like, oh, it's really hard. They are too fast. Well, when we are in a race or we are in a qualifying session, that is always playing in our mind, and we are saying that, oh, it's hard to do that because this guy is faster than me and this and that. But suddenly, out of nowhere, we are faster than them. You know?
Yep, absolutely. As you can see there's a car going off the track there. Oh, would you look at that? Hisham Ahmad, he has gone 43.908 and has a celebratory spin onto the grass there. Unbelievable performance there from Hisham Ahmad. 43.908 for hundredths of a second faster than Akai Suisi there. So now we definitely have a new second place right now. In fact, he might even be the fastest out of track or fastest qualifier of them all right now. Hisham Ahmad, where did that come from? He was stuck in the 44 for quite some time, but he's managed to pull a special one out of the bag there. So you can see there, brilliant stuff indeed. 43.025 is Nikachun. 43.251 is the time from Mozam Zari. So he is actually third right now.
Max, I know what happened to Hisham Ahmad. He's been driving more than 1 hour. He is actually losing weight. That's why he keep gaining faster and faster.
Yeah, back when I was kart racing, it was amazing. We used to weigh ourselves for fun after the race because you always lost at least a pound, if not a kilo. If you were doing those really long 20-minute races or a stint in an endurance karting race.
20-minute races and you lose a kilo.
Yeah. Most of the water, most of it's actually losing water. So water retention is how well you can keep up with your hydration. Of course, you can't fit a drinks bottle into a car, as I found out. So you do tend to lose a bit, and you do have to pre-hydrate and lose all of that through sweat and things like that. Of course, I guess the karters nowadays tend to be a little bit fitter than I was back in the day. But yeah, still, it is a very, very physical sport, karting. And it actually prepares you quite a bit for open wheel racing. It's a lot harder to drive a kart than it is to drive, say, a Formula 4 car for long periods of time. And in fact, it's really Formula 3 or Formula 2 where you get to feel that sort of sensation again. So it's actually fantastic for a lot of drivers. I know that Max Verstappen and Lando Norris still kart as a training method, as well as Daniel Ricciardo occasionally does it as well. So a lot of the Formula 1 drivers still get into a kart in order to practice. And you can see there, it's really physical stuff.
I do agree with you on that, Max. So Hisham Ahmad was actually spun just now. He trying to push his kart a little bit above
would you look at that?
Average.
Would you look at that? Jay Wong's gone exactly the same time as Hisham Ahmad. This is unbelievable. To the thousandths of a second, to the millisecond. Jay Wong has matched Hisham Ahmad's time there for third position overall and fastest time of the day. Unbelievable stuff indeed.
Wow. Jay Wong, he's getting faster and faster. Right now, Hisham Ahmad is in the H. I don't believe this is the qualifying station, Max.
Yeah, it feels like the finals already.
Yo, it's more like a competitive. It's even competitive in the qualifying session. So, guys, come on. If qualifying session is this good, I can't wait for the race.
I just can't believe that he managed to match the time exactly. J1 must be kicking himself.
The same.
43.907, and it would be fastest time of the day there. Of course, technically, if this was an official qualifying session, Hisham Ahmad would still get the pole position because he set his time earlier. Funnily enough, I do have a funny story about setting the exact time down to the thousands. For the 1997 European Grand Prix, initially Damon Hill set a lap time, I believe it was 1:24.108 or something like that. And Michael Schumacher then went out and set the exact same time. But this is not where it gets crazy. 15 minutes later, Heinz-Harald Frentzen goes out and sets the exact same time. It's the only time in recorded history in an official motor race where 3 drivers set the exact same time for pole position, which is incredible. Actually, that whole race is incredible. For those of you who really want to watch something entertaining, do look up the 1997 European Grand Prix at Kereta in Spain. It's an unbelievable competition.
Wow, Hisham Ahmad, he will be trying his best to set a better time than 43.9. Actually, the 43 is actually good already. You know, it's less than I think it's less than 5% who have done 43 in this track or more.
There's definitely only 5 drivers in Asia that we know of that have done a 43-second lap time around this track. And several of them did it their first time during the Invitational race. But also, ever since the Invitational and ever since we've unveiled Londrina in Brazil as the qualifying track, it has been fascinating watching the world record time tumble. And it's all drivers in Asia that have actually done that, going out there challenging each other in the ultimate form of speed running, let's face it. Oh, a bit of a spin there from Ake Suisse. He's desperate to try and claim back the 400ths of a second, which must seem like a huge gap after what we've seen there with Jay Wong and Hisham Ahmad. Again, I've never, in all my times of watching sim racing, commentating on sim racing, and racing on the simulator, I have never seen pole position be shared before like that.
This is a history, Max. Now, Hazmi Hamidun, what happened to him? He's getting faster, but he will be trying his best to make sure that he is in the game. You know, for those who doesn't know, only 16 of the fastest driver will be qualified to join the online league, which is gonna be happening on next week and the next 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's doing very well for himself. Master Seth, another AC expert. He's actually a bit of a Kanjo street racing expert on AC. Of course, he doesn't do it in real life, we just like to say. He definitely is he's definitely a fantastic driver and very safe driver on the road. So he does all of his street racing strictly in the sim. So for those of you guys out there, do make sure if you're going to go street racing, do it in a set of Corsa in Master Seth's server. Don't do it in real life. It's very, very dangerous.
Yo,
Not
Max,
to be recommended.
I'm just gonna say you this. Look at Khalid time. He's going 44 right now. Let's go. He got a fan here. Adi Payne say, let's go, Muhammad Khalid.
Let's have a
thank you,
look at
Ait.
Yeah, let's have a look at Khalid out there on track. Now, you have to remember, Khalid is a very, very quick sim racer nowadays. Even though he's quite new to it, he's definitely got that raw natural talent when it comes to cars. But of course, like most of the drivers in Asia when it comes to sim racing, not a lot of experience in karts. So for him to be able to get within a second of the rest of the guys up at the front there is really saying something indeed. Now, I believe for sure that Hazmi Hamidun, aka Master Seth, will be in the race with his current pace. Khalid a little bit more on the bubble there. But yeah, definitely interesting stuff indeed. Up to 16 drivers. Only 16 drivers maximum will go into the free race online league. So for those of you guys who are registered but not yet fired up that sim there, you've got 1.25 hours left on the clock in order to get all of that done there. So yeah, what are you waiting for? We would love to see you there. Oh, look at that, Khalid just getting a little bit wide there. That first corner, I'll tell you something. Having practiced with the guys before the Invitational, which was held at this track, that corner I think must be one of the hardest corners on the track because you have to try and take it on throttle. You can't really brake, otherwise you lose too much speed. And it's so difficult to get the line right and not run out wide there. It's unbelievable how accurate you've got to be in order to get that right.
Exactly, Max. Wow. I was never thought that I'm going to be watching a qualifying this close. You know how close it is? It's like literally 1 second gap between all the drivers tonight. They are actually at almost the same pace. 1 second is big, but almost the same pace. And this is actually the qualifying pace of that they are setting right now is actually quite similar to the race pace that we are seeing in this track. Driver like Khalid, like Hazmi Hamidun, they have been improving a lot since the last Invitational that we watched last week.
Absolutely.
Now we back to Jay Wong. Oh, what happened there?
Just a little bit of a spin there from Jay Wong, getting it a little bit crossed up earlier there. It's so difficult. The line between a good 43-second lap around here and spinning out is so fine. It's finer than it is in a V12 Formula 1 car in this game. It's unbelievable. Especially around this track here, because there is a little bit of elevation change, but there's also a change in camber. And the one thing karts don't tend to like so much, although they are better now than they used to be, is handling camber changes and things like that. It really is a challenge for these guys to actually try and race around the track there. As you can see there, Akmal Perfeccione trying to perfect his racing line around the track there. He's doing a 44.187 right now, 0.2 of a second behind the pole position man, the fastest time of the day right now, which is shown here as Jay Wong. But of course, Hisham Ahmad with the exact same time. I am flabbergasted. I am going to clip this. I think we're going to have to clip this and chuck it up on the YouTube channel and on Facebook. It's unbelievable.
This is unbelievable, Max.
Normally, 0.2 of a second would be the difference between first and second place. Here, it's the difference between first and fourth.
There you go. Akmal Perfezione. Oh, it's really hard to spell his name. Akmal was actually trying his best to beat his own time, which is a 44. I bet 44 flat around that. And right now, he is trying to reach 43. If he could reach 43 high, he will be the same pace as Jay Wong, Hisham Ahmad, and Akai Suse, which is Kamal Ali.
Yeah, he's going out there to try and improve on his lap time right now. 1 hour and 12 minutes remaining. This is going to be so exciting all the way down to the wire there. Again, 3-hour session. We thought we'd give you the highlights here. We definitely chose the best hour for that. You can see there, Akai Suse just spun off the track there. See a couple of drivers going off the track there. And like I said, that corner, it kicks up at the exit. So if you're not at the proper racing line, it's so easy to find yourself spinning the wrong way coming out of that corner there. And luckily there is a bank there to catch you. But it is definitely not to be recommended. It isn't the fast way around.
Yeah, just to cut short the track. I mean, the track is already short, Max. How short we want it to be. But right now, Akai Suse was actually doing pretty great. He is on the same pace on the last lap, which is only 0.041 millisecond behind. 41 millisecond behind. Is it correct, Max?
Yeah, I think
I think so.
Yeah. 41 hundredths
the gap,
of a
right?
second, yeah. So...
no, that was actually the gap between he and Hisham Ahmad or Jay Wong.
Yeah, who...
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm saying this again. Both clocked a time of 43.908 seconds. A gap of nothing. We cannot measure a gap any finer than that. It's 0.000, the gap between Jay Wong and Hisham Ahmad. Unbelievable stuff. This is... Let's see if we can have a look at another driver there. That's Afi Fadlan out there on track. 44.486.
Afi Fadlan, another VR user in this race, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be another interesting one to watch out for through there. Hasbi Hamidun still trying to move up in the leaderboard there. He's only a 10th of a second behind Akmal, which, you know, from a car racing perspective is a really a difference between two positions there. But in a karting perspective, as we're learning, seems to be an age in comparison there. The top 7 drivers right now are within a second of each other, which just goes to show how competitive this league is going to be. I cannot wait for round 1 for Tona, Italy.
Yeah, round 1, 16 fighters. 16 fighters. I'm sorry. 16 fastest driver got to be competing on the online league, which is will be held on next Thursday. Yeah, next Thursday for the first round. And it's going to be a big excitement, Max. I'm going to say this. And we are hoping that we can see a lot of action. No, there is no door in this car.
Yeah, it's wheel to wheel, bumper to bumper.
yeah, it's wheel to wheel. Oh my
side
God.
pod to side pod, actually, technically. They do have side pods, though, just like a Formula 1 car. It is an iconic part of karting, of course. The front, rear bumpers, and the side pods there. Really,
you know what happened?
Big spin there from Hasbi Hamidun. Getting onto the grass there. That braking zone into that hairpin that you just saw him spin out of is incredibly difficult to actually get right. If you brake a little bit too hard, you end up crashing. or spinning out. So you really have to have a very gentle technique with the brake pedal in these karts there. The less you brake, the less you end up like Jay Wong there, spinning out just a little bit too quickly through there. But yeah, it is all about being gentle.
Max, I was just wondering, is there any way you can counter steer a kart when it's spun?
You can actually, if you develop the reflexes for it. But it's kind of like being a pro player in Tekken or Street Fighter. It's if you're not in that scene, it's unbelievable what the reflexes are. And that's the other thing that karting's good for. This is the braking zone there that we're talking about, and you can see there Akai Suise getting it all messed up coming into that braking zone there. But he managed to catch that slide and live to fight another day. So the trick with counter steer on these karts is that you have to do very, very little of it. These things have the shortest wheelbase of any vehicle imaginable, shorter than a Capri bike, shorter than, like I said, pretty much anything. And it's unbelievable how twitchy they can be. But if you master that, you can actually hold pretty long, fast drifts with these karts, especially in the rain. It's amazing how sideways you can get on with a race car, but it does take a lot of practice and a lot of experience with them before you can get to that level.
I know Max loves sideways, especially when it goes to go-kart.
Oh yeah, I usually spend most of the time during practice getting the kart sideways and maybe 10 minutes at the end trying to keep it fast.
But the problem with this kart, you guys need to know this, okay? If you're going too aggressive and going too much sideways, you will burn out your tires in a minute. This kart was actually, our race going to be held in 15 minute, 20 or 15 minute max.
I think the 15-minute races.
Okay, so in those 15 minutes, actually, you have to keep on your tires. You know, the tire management is a thing, especially when you are racing. That was actually 50 minutes was actually a sprint race. That was not endurance, guys. Don't ask people to drive go-kart 45 minutes straight.
Alrighty, we have 1 more hour to go. 1 hour and 5 minutes, in fact, on our clocks here for your chance to qualify. So far, the fastest time today, Jay Wong, 43.908. By our calculations, I think most of the drivers are going to actually make it in. Accelerate is just gone into the server there. There'll be a few more drivers coming in. But for now, that's going to be it from us here in our open air studio. Believe it or not, we're actually at a real life karting track broadcasting this now. And you'll see a little bit more of that in the future on Adrenaline Impact. But we are going to leave it here for this evening with the 143.908 by 2 different drivers. That's unbelievable, isn't it? So in any case there, we are going to head off now, but just one more look through at the format of the race there. Online league, top 16 drivers will come into the online league from this qualifying session. The top 10 of those will head over to the MORAC UTAMA Grand Finals, along with you guys at home. If you guys want a chance to win a berth at the MORAC UTAMA Grand Finals, join us in our I Am a Rotax Racer Challenge. Post and win. Tell us why you are a hashtag Rotax Racer and stand a chance to win a seat to the Rotax Sim Racing Challenge Asia Grand Finals at MORAC UTAMA on the 4th of December 2022. And stand a chance to win an all-expense-paid trip to the Rotax Max Challenge Asia Festival at Langkawi, the greatest kart race in Asia. And trust me, this isn't just marketing. They really are saying the truth when they say this. A legendary race in karting circles there. 9th to 11th December 2022. Fantastic racetrack, fantastic venue, fantastic place indeed, Langkawi. there's no better place to watch the race there from 9th to the 11th of December. Remember, you guys have a chance to win an all-expense-paid trip for 2 to the Rotax Max Challenge Asia Festival. And of course, we have a prize pool as well. 3,000 ringgit is our cash prize that will go to the winner of the UTAMA finals there, along with that fully paid trip to the Rotax Max Challenge Asia Festival there. And of course, first place takes home 1,000 ringgit and that trip. So, and we've also got prizes all the way down to 10th place for that final race there. So it's definitely worth having a go. It's brilliant, brilliant stuff indeed. But that is going to be... That might... Yeah. So, in any case, that is going to be it for this broadcast there. Special thanks goes out to Budi for joining us here from our virtual studio.
Yeah, thank you, Max, and thank you everybody who joining us tonight and share the action and excitement with me and Max here at the visual studio.
Absolutely. Special thanks also goes out to our sponsors for the Rotax Max Challenge Asia Festival there. Special thanks goes out to Martini, Pepsi, Tourism Malaysia, Cuti Tuti Malaysia, the Langkawi Development Board, LADA, LADA, JW Sports, Holiday Villa, KLIA TV, Amprex Motorsports, who are the organisers of the Rotax Max race there, and also the owners of the Langkawi International Circuit as well. And of course, special thanks goes out to Zermaik Kart Lubricants, Morac Adventure Parks, Langkawi, as well as Rotax, of course. And it's a special thing indeed. Amprex Racing Service is the sole distributor of parts and engines in Malaysia, and also the rights holders to the Rotax Max Challenge as well. And of course, a special thanks goes out to Mojo Tires. Now, this is a brand that I've actually used before in the past. Mojo Tires will be driving the karting tires that drivers will use. They will actually be using the C2, D2, and D5 tire compounds throughout the course of the race there. So do check them out, Mojo Tires as well. Of course, a special thanks to our production team here in, like I said, a real-life karting venue. And special thanks to our producer, Khairul Alang, who's right next to me with the folding table. And of course, a special thanks goes out to all the drivers competing, and to you guys at home, the viewers, a very special thank you. We would not be able to do this without you. But that's going to be it from Budi, from myself, Max Palmer, and from all of us here at Adrenaline Impact. We'll see you in the next stream. Bye for now.